playOvechkin scores 8th goal of season. 0-17 Alex Ovechkin continues his hot start to the season by scoring in the third period of the Capitals' 32 loss to the Penguins. 0-17 Emily Kaplan. All signs pointed to Alex Ovechkin experiencing a decline this season. His ice time was shaved to a career-low average of 18.22 last season, which led to one of his lowest career totals for shots, 313. He was demoted to the third line by the playoffs while battling injuries, and management had hinted the 32-year-old needed to change with the times. As GM Brian McClellan said in May, Ovechkin is going to need to think of ways he can evolve into a player that still has a major impact on the game. So consider me surprised when Ovechkin shows up this season with disregard to all of that, looking like it's 2015 all over again, and leading the league in goal scoring with 8 in 4 games. The question, to me, now becomes, can Ovechkin maintain this pace? Sure, he looks fabulous in October, but what about when we're slogging through January? He's more of a boom or bust guy, while Sidney Crosby, as long as he's healthy, is consistent. In the end, I think Crosby has the better cast around him and he's a safer bet. But let Ovechkin make me feel dumb and score 20 hat tricks this season. At this point, nothing would surprise me with him. Sidney Crosby makes other players around him better. Jeff Bercusa. Today Sports. Chris Peters. Ovechkin's goal-scoring pace to start the season has been incredible, but the most important thing we're seeing out of him is how many pucks he's getting on net. His 3.82 shots on goal per game last season was the lowest rate of his career and resulted in his second lowest goals total over a full season. He has averaged 6.25 shots per game in 201,718. It is unlikely he'll keep up that pace, and he's certainly not going to score on 32% of his shots all season, but it appears that OV is back to his old self. That said, even Ovechkin's old self has been outscored in points by Crosby over each of the past 5 seasons. Although the Capitals captain has more goals over that same span and is likely to have more this season, we've seen more fluctuation in Ovechkin's game than we have in Crosby's, which is why I'd lean toward the latter having the better overall season. Despite Pittsburgh's rocky start in its first 2 games, Crosby now has 6 points. So he's pretty much picking right up where he left off after winning the Conn Smythe and a second straight Stanley Cup last season. As much as I love the Sid vs. Ovi debate we've been having for over a decade now, I'm just glad we've got 2 of the game's brightest stars playing at an extremely high level to start the year. It makes the Washington-Pittsburgh rivalry that much better. Patrick Hornqvist scored a power play goal and assisted on another in his season debut to help the Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Washington Capitals 32 on Wednesday night in their first meeting since the playoffs. After adding to the uproar over NFL players who protest during the national anthem, President Donald Trump mostly stuck to hockey in honoring the Stanley Cup-winning Pittsburgh Penguins on Tuesday, calling them true champions and incredible patriots. With 3 first-period goals on Saturday, Washington's Alex Ovechkin became the first player since the NHL's inaugural 191,718 season to open a campaign with consecutive hat tricks. Ben Arledge. I think the answer to this question depends on how we define the better season. Ovechkin is probably going to outscore Crosby. I mean, he's scoring at a pace of 2 goals per game through 4 games, and he has 7 seasons in which he has scored at least 0.6 goals per game. It might sound crazy, but 6,065 ISNT out of the question for him this season, a mark he hasn't reached in 10 years and has been reached only once since Steven Stamkos' 60 and 201,112. It has been incredible to see Ovechkin's production through the Capitals' opening 4 games, and I think he will outscore Crosby and post a better statistical season. However, Crosby is still the better all-around player, and if you look at the season as a whole, he will have a bigger impact on his team's success. Despite Ovi's 8 goals, he hasn't registered a single assist. Crosby has 5 already and simply makes his line mates better, similar to what we have seen Connor McDavid do with the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, and Crosby is no scoring slouch, either. He scored 44 goals last season, and could break the 35-goal mark again this season. It will just come down to whether he can stay healthy.